Good morning, everybody. I hope that your week is going well. Again, we are diving into the attributes of God, and I'm still wearing the same outfit. All right, just kidding. We film these all on the same day, but if you are still wearing the same outfit this week, that's okay. No judgment. I'm still wearing a hat because I need a haircut like a lot of us do at this point. But we're in our third attribute of God, talking about the immutability of God, that God does not change. And this is one of my favorite traits of God. This is something that has really made a deep impact on my life. And it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes by a philosopher named Heraclitus, where it says this, that no man can step foot in the same river twice, because it is not the same river and he's not the same man. Now, one of the reasons why I love this quote is because I love to fly fish in rivers, and what we see constantly is that rivers are constantly changing over and over again. That even after one day of rain, that there can be a dramatic change. And not only this with rivers, but also with us as human beings, that we are constantly creatures in motion that are changing each and every single day. I remember that when I was in college, I was engaged to my wife, and we were reading this marriage book by Tim Keller. And in it, he said that someday you're going to be married to 5 different husbands or 5 different wives. Now, he didn't mean that you're going to remarry several times, but what he meant is that over the course of your marriage, you are going to change. And in my own marriage between my wife Anna and I, that she's become more of an extrovert rather than an introvert. And in the opposite way, that I've become more of an introvert over the past 6 years. Our verse this morning is found in Hebrews 13:8, where it says this, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He does not change. And the author of Hebrews, what he understands is that there are going to be seasons of life. There are going to be these 2020s that we stop and we're like, man, I just am questioning God. I'm questioning who he is. Maybe you're questioning whether or not he's really all-powerful, if he is in control, if he's omnipotent. Maybe you're questioning whether or not God really has seen these things happening. But as it says, he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And there are some ways that we're tempted to think that God does change in our lives. The first one that we might think is that he stops loving us. That we've done something so horrific that, man, God can't forgive me. He can't love me for this. But there's nothing we can do to earn God's love. There's also nothing we can do to lose God's love. He can't change his love for us. Another one is that sometimes we think God changes because he's not faithful anymore. Maybe you've lost a job. Maybe your business has hurt. Maybe this has been a rough season of life, being stuck at home. And you're sitting there thinking, how is God faithful? Another way that we're tempted to think that God changes is that we're forgotten. You see, God literally cannot forget anything because it's God. It's part of who he is. But maybe in the season of isolation, you have felt alone. You have felt like there's nobody you can turn to. Or maybe the fact that you're not able to hug somebody or give them a high five or to hold that grandbaby. And so we feel like we've been abandoned by God. But the awesome thing is that God is not like a river and he's not like us. That he never changed. That Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is always going to love us the same amount. He is always going to be faithful. He will never leave us or forsake us. So I encourage you to maybe comment in the section below, where do you see how God is not changing throughout Scripture, because there are so many awesome passages, and I would love for you to share that with those who watch this video. And so think through these past 3 attributes. Think through how God is all-knowing, He's all-powerful, and He doesn't change. Because when we focus not on the inward, we don't focus on the outward, but when we focus on the upward, we can get through any season of life together.